Hey guys, Alex here, ajnashville.com, here again with co-host Mr. Greg Peace.
Super excited to be here, but aren't I every week though, Alex?
I think so.
I'm excited, dude. So I always talk about how I kind of open up every time with, man, we got a really good topic to share this time. And I realized that I kept saying it every time, and that kind of excited me because that means we're bringing new value every single time.
That's true.
This one is exciting today.
It is. And here's the thing. It's value that's being brought at a higher level. It's not like we're sitting here kicking around and being like, dude, you watch a football game this past weekend?
Right. We're looking to provoke thought. Right, I can't tell you exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
But hopefully between what we talk about, we can provoke thought and someone to be able to figure out how to do it on their own.
Exactly. And that's the purpose behind this, So those of you that listen consistently, thank you so much. Obviously, you're the reason why we're doing this, but we're hoping that this is reaching new ears as well and is providing some value to those who haven't heard the podcast in the past. And actually, this kind of coattails into what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to talk about leadership, and that's what I think through this podcast, we show some leadership in the fact that we dive into topics that maybe we can expand on to help other people, or maybe topics that you're just looking for in order to find some direction. That's kind of what a leader is. But the concept. Go ahead. No.
I'm sorry. I got excited there. And so talking about leadership, I think it's valuable to point out, to kind of open up and dive right into. We're not going to define what a leader is. We didn't pre-look it up. We're not going to suggest, but maybe talking about some of the things a leader is not.
Yeah.
Because maybe sometimes we think that we're being a leader by doing certain things and maybe not realizing it. So for example, a manager and a leader are two totally different roles. Neither is wrong, okay? Mm-hmm. They're just two totally different roles, and you may wear both hats at the same time. However, if you're being a really good manager, mm-hmm. or if you're managing something very well, that does not mean that you are being a leader, because they're two different roles.
Yeah, it's actually two different definitions. And if we look at this, the actual definition in the dictionary, and I can't believe here I am, 39 years old, and I'm looking up dictionary online. Remember the old books you'd have to look it up in?
You have to look it up.
You used to have to write stuff out of there. But
I'm intrigued to hear what it says.
So by definition, a leader is the person who leads or commands a group, organization, or country. So interesting enough, I know it says group.
So what if we did, so that was a leader. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of talks about the role. Mm-hmm. What about if we looked up the word leadership as in the action?
So leadership as in the action.
Let's see if that does anything different. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, no. The action of leading a group of people or an organization. So the same thing.
Okay.
So, but one, like you said, is an action. The other one's more of a title. My disagreement with that is you don't have to lead a group to be a leader.
100%.
You can lead an individual. And that individual could be a subordinate. It could be a child. It could be a friend. I mean, there's so many different levels of being a leader.
Even I'm just going to take it just a step further. I mean, and we both know some different people, but think about dog trainers.
Yeah.
They are literally leading now an animal. So, I mean, We're taking it even a step further. Instead of saying a group of people, instead of saying an individual, it might not even be a human. They still have to act in a manner to create desire in other people, things, animals, to do a desired outcome for the benefit of that person.
Well, and it's funny you bring up animals, because animals pick up a lot on have you ever heard someone say, they're like, hey, don't be afraid when you meet my dog, because he'll sense it. He'll bite you because of that. And so what do? You walk in, you're like, I know this dog. This is a giant dog, and he's going to bite me, but I'm not going to be afraid. And you walk in, and it's a poodle. And you're like,
yeah.
No, poodles are scary too. But the reason why I say that is because as human beings, we pick up on that. So, you have your faux leaders, the people that I'm a leader. I'm a leader because people said I'm a leader. But you look at that person, you're like, bro, I wouldn't follow you into the land of loveliness, because I don't trust you, or I don't think that your intentions are proper, or whatever the case may be.
I think that's an important distinguishing factor on a leader. I mean, just my take, but that leader has to empower other people or create a desire in them to want to do better.
And they have to create a level of trust.
And a level of trust.
Because literally you're relying, I'll give you an example. When I moved to the company I'm with now, I told my team leader, I said, look, people trusted you. My team leader was a lieutenant commander for the SEAL teams. And I told him specifically, I said, look, if people trusted you to lead them into battle with their life, I trust you to lead me in the right direction from a company standpoint, because it is my life. It's not my life in the fact that I'm not going to not close a loan and somebody shooting at me, although that might happen. Let's hope it doesn't.
Right.
But the fact that I trust that person, that his intentions and the direction he's leading is not ones that are being used to benefit him. It's ones that are being used to benefit each other, to benefit the consumer, to benefit my family, the people that work with me, things like that. Without that trust, the movement wouldn't have happened.
And so so I thought when you had said that was powerful, and I thought, what do we do? In my mind, I thought, what do we do as leaders? What are those things that builds that trust and that desire in other people? And I thought that in my mind, and then you answered it, and in your last piece. That leader for you, he cared about your production, your quality of life, your family. You see, he didn't just care about his personal gain, and that was very clear when it bled through to you. He didn't have to tell you that. You knew that. It was safe to follow him because he wanted to take you somewhere more powerful than you are.
Exactly. And you said something, too, that resonated, and he didn't have to tell you that. One of the worst things I hear from time to time is when people say, I'm going to tell you the truth about this, or let me be honest with you. It's like, hold on a second. Let me be honest. So you were lying to me all the other times, and now you're going to be honest.
We're switching over now. Right.
Exactly. So everything before was BS. But, going back to that manager kind of leadership role that we were talking about, we talked about this before we started the podcast. There's a lot of times where a person who is the manager of an organization is not the leader at all.
Nope.
The person that's actually leading your team is the other salesperson out there with the other salespeople.
It could be very easily, and I've been blessed to be in positions where in a restaurant atmosphere, that leader can be, and more times than you realize it, might be that hostess up front.
Yeah.
She might be leading, she or he might be leading that whole floor for the manager that is managing the business.
Have you ever seen a mass exodus or exit?
I sure have.
That happens a lot in the restaurant industry, because a leader
they follow the leader
says, I'm leaving. And so they turn around to their friends who are following and they say, are you guys leaving too? And they say, yep, where are we going? And it's blind, like they just go, hey, we're gone.
And again, that leader has created that desire. At some level, they've created that buy-in through action, not through, let me be honest, but through action, they have created that I care about you. I care about your family. I care about your quality of life. We have to get to this mission, but I care about the collateral damage along the way.
Yeah, how we get there and who we hurt when on the way.
Absolutely.
Now, leaders are also people like parents. Like, you don't realize this. Nobody looks at a parent. They're like, hey, man, you're a leader. You are. When your child is following everything you do, you're a leader.
I mean, and it's such an important role, too.
It is. Because you're developing a life.
Not just... I know it's so easy. Like, oh, it's an important role. Like, so important. And you said it, you're developing a life. I mean, whether you like to own responsibility or not, you are responsible for the long-term decisions this human's going to make. You are hardwiring their programming right now. You are creating their desires right now. When they get older, they're going to act upon them.
Right. And that's all based on things they've learned.
Well, and then look at and listen to who am I to judge, right? But when we are leading, and I'm doing the quotations for the people who can't see me, when we are leading our kids, right? So we discussed a few examples of where that quality and exemplary leader showed through action care for all the other areas, not just themselves.
Right.
So then we think about when we're a parent, and what about when we tell the kids to go do X so we can do Y?
Yeah.
Whatever Y is. But see, without ever telling them, they understood you have created the desire in them to protect yourself, get other people to do things so you can gain.
Right.
And we don't mean to do that as parents ever, right? It's totally harmless. But are we watching our checks and balances? How many times do we do that?
Yeah. No, there's a lot of truth to that. And that's the thing. Like I said, most of us don't realize we're leaders. You know how long I worked for a company, and this was before I even knew what being a leader meant. Like, I was very young in my career, and you hear the word tossed around. Hey, he's a leader. Hey, be a good leader.
Yeah.
Lead this, lead that, lead these.
Yeah, just tossing around.
So, but I always got that. People are like, you're a leader, you're a natural leader, people follow you, and I'm like, whatever, but you start to see it. And then when leadership can be so abused, like beyond abused, but when you identify that, hey, you know what, they're right, I'm actually a leader, and now I need to demonstrate the proper things with whatever my actions are. I have to demonstrate these things so the people that are watching and are following can also execute the same thing, so we lead to success together.
And developing yourself, and that's what makes you a great leader. See what you didn't realize along the way, and again, we've talked about before, not everyone had the blessing of the childhood that we had, and I say that kind of lightly, obviously, but you didn't realize before you were a leader because you were caring for so many people around you because you didn't want them to be in the position you were in. You didn't even realize it.
Right.
You were like, this has to be done.
Yeah.
But through that display of action, everyone said, oh, he cares about the people around him.
Right.
He's a good leader.
Yep.
And now when you didn't even realize it, but after you realized it, you said, oh crap, people are looking. I am a leader. Then you chose to say, hey, I need to be a great leader.
Yeah.
I need to develop myself.
Absolutely.
I need to share with other people. I need to make sure that people are one chapter behind me have what I needed when I was there.
Well, and I call that the hand up. So, there's a difference. There's a handout, which, hey, you want something for free? Here it is. Here's my handout. And the hand up is, hey, you want to get to this level? Here, grab my hand. I'm going to show you how I got there, And so the hand up is more valuable as a leader because you're helping people along the way. And the thing is as a leader, it's okay to sometimes pass the torch and say, this is uncharted for me. You're somebody that people look up to. You have a lot of knowledge in this. I'm going to go ahead and, in a sense, kind of put you as the front man.
100%.
This way you can help charge us through the way. And then if we switch roles again later on down the future, that's okay.
100%. I mean, empowering people to do that. You didn't lose anything by, put your people on the shoulder of giants.
Right.
People are afraid of losing their people. If I accentuate him to be great, he might leave because he's great.
Yeah.
Most people earn for that sense of accomplishment, and they're afraid of not getting it elsewhere. Put your people on the shoulder of giants, and they will lead powerfully for you, and see you as even a more powerful leader.
Well, and here's the thing, so you brought into example the people that you bring to a certain level, and they may leave. And guess what? If they do, congratulations. You accomplished that whole chapter with them. And it should be something, and I've dealt with this in the past where, you leave a place of business, okay? And it's a bad breakup. They're like, oh, I can't believe you're leaving. I can't believe you're doing this. When in actuality, it should be, you know what? Congratulations. Let me know if I can ever do anything to help you because I was vested in you and not in what you brought to me.
Correct.
And so that difference, people graduate to another level. That's like you talk about coaches and stuff, coaching. I've reached a level where certain types of coaching isn't relevant to me anymore. Like I need to figure out how to balance things and how to do stuff like that. So I may desire a different type of coaching versus what I utilized 6 years ago. 6 years ago, the appropriate coach for me is no longer relevant, and not because I don't appreciate the work that person's put into my life and helped get me to where I am, but I've matured enough to where now it's time to find a different leader and kind of go through that, So it's a
development, it's a process. It's a continuation. There's always the next piece, and you as a great leader are always looking for what that next piece is. Instead of putting on a hat that I know, right? Or instead of I don't need that no more, what you said was, you know what? This is a weakness. I could add more value to everyone I meet if I work on this piece.
Yeah.
And that's a real trait of a good leader, finding that next piece to work on.
Well, and that's something that we talk about. We talk about balance, because now it's like, hey, I'm really good over here on the scales of, sales or whatever it may be. Now I need to go be over on this end of the scales. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
System,
you don't
creation, or I'm sorry, keep going.
Well, no, you don't want to be an unbalanced leader.
Absolutely.
If my only focus is sales, let's do sales.
You can become the best salesperson there ever was, like the single best. You won't be the best leader.
Right. Well, and the other thing I want people to think about, okay, so when we're looking at our let's for lack of better terms, subordinates, coworkers. Let's call them coworkers. The people that we lead. That's probably even better terms. When we look at that and we see a deficiency, We noticed that Greg has come in the past 3 days and he's come in late and he's flustered when he walks in the door and his shirt's untucked and everything else. As a leader, do I approach you and say, Greg, what the freak are you doing, buddy? Why are you coming in late? Or do I look at you and say, Greg?
So what if I said, are you going to go in the direction of asking me why I was late?
Yeah.
Man,
I want to know
that's
why.
so powerful.
Like, I need to know, why were you late? Why is your shirt untucked, dude? What happened? Are you okay? Like, literally, Luis, he was coming in late like a couple days in a row. And when he came in, I didn't look at him and say, dude, you're late. What's going on? It's, hey, man, everything good?
This is not you. What do we, man, that's so powerful. And whatever you learn that day, bonded you guys even tighter.
Right.
You learned something that day.
Well, and it lets him know that you care,
Through a display of action, not through a, hey, you're late. I want to let you know I care about you. Let me be honest,
exactly.
I care.
Let me be honest.
Let me be honest.
Your happiness is important to me.
Right. You displayed it. You said, what's going on? Who knows what could have came about or what did come about, and that's irrelevant.
Right.
You displayed the trait and said, hey, before we even get to business, man, I need to put some love on you as a human.
Exactly. And you talk about situations, let's take the battlefield, for example. And what I know about this is obviously very, very limited. But your leader, the person that you actually follow, in the thought process, will step in front of something before you do 9 times out of 10.
100%.
And the reason behind that is because they believe so fiercely in whatever the mission is that they're willing to dive in front of anything that can stop you from achieving that mission to make sure that you deliver what it is you guys set out to deliver.
A real leader, someone that's excited about being a leader, their win is their people winning.
Oh, for sure.
They will deflect their win back to their people.
Yes.
They could have been single-handedly responsible for it. They will deflect it back to their people.
Right.
Their people's excitement is their excitement.
Yeah.
A leader, you can't be a narcissist and be a good leader.
And
you might control some things.
Yeah. But you're not
going to be a good leader.
And I use that term when I'm talking to my people. I say, look, we're cream. We're going to rise to the top together, or we're going to float to the bottom together. Either way, we're going to do this together. And we're going to succeed. And so if I'm at the table and I'm eating steak, so are you. Nobody's eating chicken at my table. And I know that sounds kind of, at least they're eating. Yeah, but why should I have everything great brought to me when you've worked just as hard beside me and you're sitting there envious of my plate,
Absolutely.
So, no.
Powerful.
Closing thoughts?
Yeah, man. So what I'm going to leave for my closing thoughts today is, if you're a leader, if you're not a leader, look into what does it mean being a leader? How can it empower your life to become a leader? If you're a leader, what I want to leave you with is be candid and be polite.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to leave on my closing thoughts.
So I'm going to add to that: candid, polite, but also be humble. Realize that a leader has nothing to lead if he has no one to follow. And so if you're in a situation where you abuse the people that you lead, you will soon find yourself not a leader. And so take what it is that you do on a regular basis, take it seriously, but more important, be mindful of the people that you're leading, whether it's in battle, into day-to-day life, into adulthood, whatever it is, you're in control. And you don't want to wake up one day and find out that the people you once led are now gone.
Man, I appreciate it. I have some takeaways myself from today.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thanks again for tuning in. Hope everyone's having a great day. Once again, like we said, thanks for all of you that tune in on a regular basis. Big Brother has a way to track and look and be like, oh, look, I've got people listening, or, oh, my God, we don't. But I say that to say this. If you know somebody that can benefit from our show, somebody that can at least one episode is pertinent to them or maybe where they're at in life, please share it with them.
Share it with them.
If
this
there's
is our selfless way to help other people.
And to give back, And if there's something we can clarify, shoot us a message. Either one of us, maybe
a topic you want discussed.
Yeah, we're not famous. We'll definitely talk about what
we can talk about it.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk soon.